And we're on the last problem on the review, number 26. We want to determine whether each statement is true or false. So typically what we do on the log statements is we pick a side that we can manipulate. Sometimes you can manipulate either side, so there's sometimes more than one way to do the problem. So if I look at part A, I have log base b of 1/3, and I want to know if that's equal to negative log base b of 3. So I'm going to choose as my side to manipulate, I'm going to choose this side. And the reason I'm choosing it is because I see a negative in front of there. I can think of that as a -1. Oops, let me change back to this. And since it's a -1, I can think about doing power rule backwards. So just like we did when we condensed. So that would make that side log base b of 3 to the -1. Now I know that 3 to the -1 is the same thing as 1/3 to the +1, so I could rewrite that as 1/3. Then the two sides are the same, so I would say that this one's true. Now it is also possible on A that you could have started with the left side. Okay, so one thing I could have done is I could have seen this as a quotient. So I could have manipulated the left side and made it log base b of 1 minus log base b of 3. Okay, so only working with the left side. But if we look at log base b of 1, I'm thinking b raised to what power gives me 1? And that would be a 0. So this whole thing becomes 0, and the 0 drops out. And now this side matches with this side. So I think that's a slightly harder way to do it, but that's two ways to do part A. Now if I move on to part B, this one, if I look at the left side, I can definitely use my product rule. So if you remember back to that, right, here's your product rule right here. So I can expand that and put a plus between them. So if I go back over to my other page, this side becomes natural log of x plus natural log of y. Now that's not the same thing as natural log of x times natural log of y. We know when we split those, we don't multiply, we add. So I would say this one is false. All right, so if we look at C, I have log base b of x minus y and log base b of x minus log base b of y. So one of these looks a little bit like quotient rule. If I switch back over, here's my quotient rule. So I want something that's similar to this that I can back up and rewrite as this. All right, so that's going to be this side. That's my quotient. So I can rewrite that as log base b. Remember, it's my quotient rule, so it becomes x over y. And now we can see that those are clearly not the same. One's x minus y and one is x over y. So that one is also false.